The following program is sponsored by Capitec.
Hello, and a very warm welcome to the Insider SA, your guide to living better. Join us as we open up to discovery and who will take the title of Mr. India South Africa. Artist Deona van Vuuren's passion for Cuba becomes the cornerstone of her world-famous restaurant, and actress and singer Leah van Niekerk finds golf is the key to a happy marriage. Along with his wife Anneke, cricket's George Linde is living every dream he wished for as a boy. With designer Gavin Rajah's new collection, fashion falls head over heels for colour and in an old country stable. Adam and Rose Williams recreate destination dining. Plus, content creator Scott Garder asks why no one thought of drumming with wine tasting before. A major recent discovery in Umhlanga has been the breadth of talent revealed in the finals of Mr. India South Africa. Developing this potential to benefit the community and country is competition owner Danny Mudlia's goal.
Mr. India South Africa is a competition. It's a grooming of the individual so that it helps them become better businessmen. And I try to impart as much knowledge to them to better themselves. And we've seen great success over the years.
Cooking opens so many career and social options that it was a skill all finalists like Dr. Jeremy Nayagar had to excel in.
I'm cooking a whole bunch today. I'm starting off with a palak chaat as a starter. For mains, I'm doing a fish curry, which is South Indian fish curry, tamarind based. I've added in some brinjal or eggplant. That's my granny's old recipe. And to give it a bit of a South African kick, I'm doing pap on the side.
Cooking has been something that I learned from watching my family at the stove, and I've always wanted to be that child that wants to put his hand on the stovetop. As I aged, I think I paid attention, followed. My dad comes from a family of men that cook, so it's only fitting that I follow in those footsteps and learn the trades.
Talking a good dish had to translate into one that tasted as good, and Mr. India SA 2021 Simeon Pillay was impressed.
Judging from what I've seen today, they all stand a fair chance, and I can't wait to see who the winner is. Being the winner of Mr. India South Africa, I found that having a sound intellect is of true importance.
For the fun of it and the networking value in it, the gents were then taught to play golf by Rajan Siugalam, son of famous SA pro golfer Papua Siugalam.
Today is the visit to the Beachwood Country Club. We're taking the boys through a process of educating them about golf. You got to put your feet together and you got to align yourself to the hole. So there's the hole there, right? You got to go and putt with a very gentle stroke.
Beautiful. Okay. So I believe in trying anything once. I've never played golf before. This is such a fun adventure, fun sport. Very relaxed and calming, and I'm enjoying the experience.
As disabled brand specialist Joshua Chetty stood back for no man, social media manager Kavishan Kiston considered men's wider role.
The characteristics of a good man should be a man that's well-groomed, a man that's got his priorities in check, humble, hardworking.
So being a good listener makes a good man. By being a good listener, it allows you to understand people and also see what people don't generally express in terms of what they're saying.
One language the finalists all communicated fluently in was style. Social media strategist Neil Rampasad was in his element.
The fashion shoot was very exciting. It was a new experience for a lot of us because we're not fashion models, but we've gained a lot of experience today. We've learned technique, we've learned style, we've learned posture.
The smart attire with suits complemented us so well today, more especially us as Durbanites. The Wilson's Wharf Harbour is one of the most beautiful locations here in Durban, especially at morning with the sunrise. The contrasting with the overcast and the sunrise hitting onto the suits, it was just a beautiful sight to shoot.
Every category had a traditionally Indian element to it, which fills former title holder Shiv Ramsander with pride.
With any competition, I feel there's three aspects that one needs to prepare. One is their mind, body, and soul. Their mind aspect, they need to be mentally sharp and mentally prepared for what's to come. Their body, which is their appearance, they need to be well groomed, they need to be well styled, and they need to make sure their body is well taken care of. And the soul aspect, it's simply about who they are as a person. What charity have they done? What do they want to do with the title?
The qualification rounds had seen entries from across the nation and the finalists proving themselves on several fronts.
We had about 97 guys. The cherry on the top this year, I had a young man in a wheelchair, and he loves what the Mr. India South Africa stands for.
My main aim with entering has been to inspire other people with physical challenges and with dreams of their own like myself, because this is a dream come true for me.
To the audience, the guys had to project a consistent sense of character, presence and purpose, whatever task they were being tested on and however good they looked on stage.
There's something exciting about each and every sequence. There's 4 different outfits. First is the dhothi, which is a traditional Indian garment. Next up is our smart casual wear, which is jeans, a white shirt, a white bow tie, and a black coat. Then we have our western wear, which is left to our individual choice. And then for our eastern wear, we're wearing sherwanis, also left to our own preference.
Among the favourites was amateur musical talent Nicholas Govender, who was pretty composed for a matric student.
Any event like this is very stressful, but the trick that I like to use is that I like to imagine that instead of being nervous, I'm excited.
It's such an awesome experience. I've made so many new friends, so knowing that you could be the winner or you may not, it's a mixture of emotions, so trying to navigate through it.
In a country with plenty of challenges, needing all kinds of men to answer them, the message was getting through.
Mr. India SA is a platform to change lives. Okay, when we started the journey, Danny said to us, the winner is not necessarily the person that always takes the baton and does fantastic things. Guys on the background also change lives of the people they meet.
So win it or lose it, I think this is definitely a stepping stone for me to sort of direct and channel my energy towards the right sort of direction in life.
If I were to lose this competition, I would still enjoy the journey because of the experience that I'll never get to have on any other platform.
In the end, joint second runners-up were Krishan P.S. Sengar and Jeremy Nayagar. Neil Rampasad took first runner-up, and the title belonged to health food franchise manager Joshua Maestri.
This is the most amazing feeling in this world. I'm the winner of the Mr. India South Africa 2022. But even for all the guys that didn't win, we are still winners at heart. I'm going to take this light that has been given to me by the Mr. India South Africa, and I'm going to drive it forward and lead and inspire young men out there to grab this opportunity to go to great heights, no matter what the circumstances are.
Here's to Joshua's reign being one of discovering everything he can do for his community and his country. Up next, Deona van Vuuren turns Cork Bay into Little Cuba, and Leah van Niekerk has one song she dreams of singing. We met artist and Cape to Cuba restaurateur Deona van Vuuren just as she was about to start painting her white house Moroccan pink. A mercurial creative who doesn't wait on inspiration, any day spent in her company is one filled with discovery.
I've been collecting all these objects since 1991 from all over the world. Cuba was my favorite because they had such amazing old furniture and you had to go to private homes to buy it.
Deona made a name for herself recreating paintings by master artists, even if this was sniffed at by some snootier elements in the art world.
I was famous for my fakes, which I did in the 90s. Everybody said, you dare not do that. You're going to get into trouble and nobody's going to like it. Well, I tell you what, it took off. It was unbelievable. If somebody wanted something, I did it. I painted with such vigor, day and night for years, that I got to a stage where I was like, can't do it. I'll leave it for retirement, which is now.
Whether she's painting or decorating, it's a feast of colour and a mix of styles that makes for the Van Vuuren signature look.
I've not always been a creative person. Growing up the way I did, it was very staunch, very Afrikaans. But I do recall my dad was quite creative. He was quite a good artist. And he used to go to auctions and buy stuff and furnish the house, not my mom. And you know what? I think that's where I got it from.
An entrepreneur to the bone, Deona sources, collects and sells pieces from every corner.
This saint's from the Philippines, so they have a lot of saints there, which I collected. They're modern and they're made and cut there. This is also from the Philippines, but it's actually like a mannequin. So every year they have a massive procession through the streets. She gets the most beautiful embroidered dress, a beautiful wig, and of course a saint crown as Mary.
Deona's son, Bartel van Vuuren, has inherited his mother's hunger for both discovering and making art, which he does at his adventure of a studio.
I'm a fabricator, and here we build and make amazing things. I started when I was very young, making little things, paper mache, clay, and of course Mom being super creative and artistic, it just seemed a natural thing, just playing in the garden and building little things.
The undeniable legacy which mother and son have built together is their famous Cuban-themed restaurant in Kalk Bay.
When I started there, it was a little woodwork shop. We just had this idea to create a little coffee shop and started building and breaking and plastering and connecting, and took this little building and created this sort of strange space which eventually sort of became a Cuban joint.
Early days of Cape to Cuba was chaotic, mad, crazy. Because I've never owned a restaurant, so I just jumped into the deep end, and somehow it all worked out, and I am where I am today because of that experience.
Impatience, hard work and a joy in beautiful things have created what manager Jackie Chanash happily calls his office.
If you walk through the doors here, it's like you have walked to another destination. It's not like you're in Cape Town, but it's like you're in a different spot. Every time, like towards the season, we have a lot of Cuban visitors here. They will tell you actually that this is what Cuba is like. This is what Havana looks like.
The recent renovation was an absolute dream for me because I got to literally gut the place, and almost everything in there was fabricated in the factory. One of the unique features that we added was the cutout ceiling, which is a myriad of jungle plant leaves, which just totally create that sort of shaded, natural feel. And that added with our traditional beach sand floor is a winner by the ocean.
It is a hit by any measure, and through every kind of trend, it has remained a must for visitors and locals over 22 years.
People need it. They need that magic. They need to think, I'm on an island somewhere. But you can only do that by creating the magic, whether it be with the people that work here, whether it be with the decor, whether it be with the food, but it's all about the magic and escapism.
But it took a rare vision and a can-do attitude. Discovering a slip of a property between Main Road and the railway, the Van Vuuren saw a gap, took it, and have never looked back. Singer, presenter and actress Leah van Niekerk discovered she had a singing voice at quite a tender age. She may have taken the scenic route to being noticed for her music, but today her albums go gold and she tours nationwide.
Life's a journey and you have to take part in every little thing building up to whatever. You can't just imagine that only on stage it's fun. You have to make everything fun around it as well. I love being active and gymming. I'm not necessarily the fittest person on earth, but I do try, and I know that I have to keep the doggies fit as well. I will exercise and I will practice some new songs, learn lyrics. There's never really a moment when there's not something happening. You're always creative. Even if you have an awful week, you would go like, okay, what's my next step? Should I think of a new song? Should I think, what am I doing with the next video?
Then there's golf, which plays a starring role in Leah's 9-year marriage to Henny van Niekerk.
I was that wife that would always complain, my husband is playing too much golf. I would arrive back from being away for 2 weeks and then he would be on the golf course. I came to a point where I realized that if you can't beat them, join them. And then I did. So I was invited to this golf day and I've never picked up a golf club in my life. I called it a golf stick, I mean, really. And I asked my friend, you know, I've got 6 weeks. Do you think I can learn how to do this? And she said, yes. I said, challenge accepted. And I did the golf day. Life changed. It was one of the best days of my life. I had so much fun. I played okay. Don't ask me if I have a handicap, because I don't. But I really enjoy it. And it's something that my husband and I can do together. He actually has a lot of patience with me. He helps me a lot. He teaches me, and it's good for our marriage. You know, if there's a gap, we go and we go play golf, and it's really fun. Talking about golf, let's go check out my skills. Ooh.
Since the singer-songwriter has ground to catch up on, she's putting in the time to practice and improve with golf operations manager Andre de Jager.
Durbanville Golf Club, very special to me because this is where I shot a music video and I literally had my first golf day right here. I did hit the ball a couple of times. We had fun and actually that is where my whole love and everything for golf started. I had the most fun on the golf day. I went home and I said to my husband, I'm going to start playing golf, and I think he was really excited when I told him.
Dis die ding van golf, as jy dit rustig en stadig hou, dan werk hy uit vir jou. Ek dink hierdie was 'n baie goeie warm-up geweest. Ek dink jy is nou definitief reg om op die baan te gaan.
Let's do it.
There you go.
Woo!
What?
What? Woo! Teamwork makes the dream work.
Off the fairways, Leah works in film, reality TV, and music, each requiring a range of skills.
Singing obviously is live, so you get that satisfaction right there on the stage. You're in the moment, where with acting, learning a script, it takes time, prepping, getting into the character, and then when you get onto set that day, then you literally are that character. Also with the singing, it's more repetitive of the same thing. I do the same songs all the time. Where the acting is, every time it's something new, the presenting, it's literally you get your script a day before, or even an hour or half an hour before. But just to be in that moment and be there, be present, and do it. I love all of it, so I try my best every time. I got a few balls that were really nice and a few hits in, so I'm glad. It's just so nice when you get a good shot and it's just that like, yes, I did something right. Ooh, my husband Henny, he must watch out. I am coming for him on the golf course. We are both so competitive and I think that's where we lose our patience, and I just love to beat him one day. Just once. I will be happy.
As for the star's music, it was a career choice her mom, Krista Eckermans, was wise to early on.
When I was at university, I studied BCom law. In my second year, I did a show. It was a culture evening with one of the men's races, and it was my first time singing in front of all of my peers. No one really knew that I sang because I was just another student, and I sang, and it was amazing, and then they asked me to sing again. So I was like, oh, this is a little moment for me.
Ek het gedink sy gaan dit later doen in haar lewe. Ek het nie want haar stem het elke jaar vir my verbeter. En nou nog, haar stem verbeter vir my nog steeds. So, nee, ek het geweet sy gaan dit doen.
The day that I told my mom, I think I want to go study musical theatre, she was like, oh, I knew.
Leah's father, Deon, played guitar, but he sadly passed away when she was a child, making her mother's influence even more important.
Daar's eintlik 3 goed wat my ma vir my geleer het, wat ek altyd by my dra. The one is keep your feet on the ground and reach for the stars. Very humbling. The second thing my mom taught me is that you can't always win, and then wees net altyd yourself. And that's it. Dit was my 3 belangrikste goedjies wat ek by ma geleer het.
Those truths made this recording artist driven and saw her album Wonderwerk reach gold status.
Obviously, love inspires a lot of music. And I think the fact that you just want to have a good time and have a positive experience with music. Sometimes you need the negative as well, obviously, it heals. But my music's more the positive side and reflects my personality, which is quite a lot of positivity. My biggest dream performance is I would like to sing the national anthem at a rugby match for the Springboks, preferably against New Zealand or Australia. I can even take England, but that is literally my biggest dream. I've been practicing the national anthem since I can remember. I can sing it in my sleep, and I'm a very big rugby supporter.
It is surely a question of when, not if. Until she gets the call, there are scores of Leah van Niekerk fans who've booked to see her on tour this summer, and she's taking the holidays to write. So expect to discover fresh sounds from her to welcome in this new year. Coming up, what Western Province Blitz all-rounder George Linde discovered in a box from his 10-year-old self. In cricket, there's nowhere to hide when the going gets tough. That's when this player asks himself, do you want to succeed as much as you want to breathe? And clearly he does.
I'm George Linde and I play for Western Province Cricket. I've been with Western Province since 2012. I bring an all-round balance to the team. I love making jokes around the guys. I'm quite a happy guy in the environment. I try to perform with bat and ball and in the field as well. I love batting a lot more, but I get so nervous when I bat. But then also when I bowl and I bowl well, then obviously bowling is better than batting. But I always say hitting sixes and fours is always my favourite.
I'm Eddie Moore, left-handed top-order batsman for Western Province Blitz, part-time right-arm off spinner. Been playing for 10, 11 seasons professionally. Most of my cricket's been played in the Eastern Cape for the Warriors. And it's my first season at Western Province Blitz now. Really enjoying it so far. I've known George since probably after school. We've always played against each other at provincial level. Played SA together previously, and it's pretty nice to be in his team now at the Western Province Blitz. Georgie, I have to tell you, as an opening batsman of Western Province, you have to be a little bit lower in your stroke play. When you make contact, I need you to bend your knee, just like you're proposing to Anneke. You know, that position, you have to get nice and low, close to the ball. That's where the power comes from.
Okay, let's see. Thanks, mate. Feeling quite positive going into the SA20. Started off well with this season now. It's going to be exciting cricket. There's big players here, big overseas players. It's going to be a strong tournament. It's going to be good for South African cricket.
George is so busy with cricket at the moment that when he gets time off, he makes sure to take it. And this was a tempting getaway.
And Eddie decided to come to Signal Hill to go on the scoot tours. I love the wildlife. Like just standing here looking at the beach there, it's amazing. Look that way, city. But I will pass out if I see a snake. Sê my, het jy dit al gedoen?
Nog nooit op ek sal ons op my sene wees om eerlik te wees. Jy moet kort 'n bietjie meer protection as net 'n helmet en 'n kort 'n paar knieguards en goeie.
Ons het ons cricket pads aangesit.
Ek sê
Safety is always a factor when your job relies 100% on your physical fitness. So, a cricket injury that needed surgery gave this all-round pro even more determination to bounce back, train even harder, and try not to get injured again.
Terwyl ons nou na die safety guard geluister het, is al Michael Light het verbygegaan. George se oor raak net so groot en ek weet dis hy op die vliegtye.
Yeah, I'm scared of flying.
If he's a little cautious, it doesn't mean he's lacking a sense of humor or a spirit of adventure.
George is a fun guy. He's one of those guys with positive energies, always a smile on his face. Obviously adds a lot of value to a team with his skill, but him as a human being adds even more value to a team. So I call him a mate of mine and looking forward to sharing some more memories with him.
Eddie and I we get abused the whole time, being together the whole time. When you see us on the cricket field, away from the changing room, we're always together. I think the boys just getting jealous of us because we keep our chats interesting and fun, so because we always laugh.
Letting gravity do all the work is a refreshing change from having to dig deep in training.
My one fitness tip is when you're tired and you feel like you can't go anymore, stay strong. Don't just quit. Just go until you really feel like you can't go anymore. I think that's something that helped me quite a lot during my career. That's my go-to tip. Yeah, I thought it was pretty fun. I'll definitely want to do it again.
As we took the corner, I enjoyed George's little flip there over a speed bump. It was pretty impressive. Back wheel almost slid to the left there, but he made it just fine. So yeah, it was pretty impressive skills.
I'm just glad you didn't hurt your face.
Ask George the one place he'd rather be any time outside of cricket, and enjoying his soon-to-be family life with his wife Anneke is the simple answer.
I'm Anneke Linde. I'm a PT teacher at a primary school. We met through our moms that worked together. It wasn't a setup. They always talked to us about each other at home after work, but never like initiating something or whatever. And one day I was curious to see how this George guy looks that my mom always talk about. And I went on Facebook and searched him. And I was like, he's not too bad looking. And yeah, the rest was history after I invited him.
She can just be glad I accepted that friend request. What really matters in life for me is family.
I'm 6 months pregnant, very excited to be a mother.
I'm just so excited for that. What I'm scared about the most is being away from home. The due date is on 12th of March, but I gotta leave end of March to the UK. So that's for 6 months, and then I'm not sure when I'm gonna see them again. But luckily, we've got a very strong support system around us, so I know she will be okay. The person that influenced me the most, I think it's A.B. de Villiers. When I was younger, I always wanted to be like him. I remember him writing a letter to me saying that he can't wait to play cricket with me for the Proteas, and obviously that became a dream, and I really wanted to play with him. Unfortunately, I had to play against him. So, yeah, it was a difficult one, difficult to bowl to that guy, but it was a dream come true for me to be on the same field as him.
Indian cooking has been quite an influence too.
So I'll be making a butter chicken, something we saw on the internet. So we tried it out, and then it was actually a winner. Curry is one of my favorite meals to eat, and then, yeah, I think that's why we're making that tonight.
And I love it when he cooks.
Yeah, that as well.
Yeah.
Living healthily means a longer career, and for George, it's about much more than playing.
The thing I love most about cricket is the competitiveness, this strategic stuff you have to figure out, technical stuff. Like, it's just so rewarding when all those things fall into place. Winning, spending time with your mates on and off the field. There's no better culture for me personally than cricket.
The night before a big game, George is actually chilled. He's always chilled. Like, I think that's what I love the most about him. It's always just chilled vibes in our house, honestly.
Getting to switch off from the game is also important. When they can take some real time off, the Lindes love to leave off the technology and head for the bush to enjoy South Africa's unrivaled wildlife in each other's company.
I think the recipe for a healthy relationship is communication, obviously. Like, you won't know what someone wants or needs if you don't tell them. Don't fight over unnecessary stuff that you laugh about later. Just enjoy life together.
If I wasn't a cricketer, I think I would have been a teacher. I
don't think he would have made a good teacher. Sometimes he's a super chill guy, but the nerves get quite triggered quickly, so I doubt it, honestly.
Maybe a chef, or judging by George's affection for their dog, he'll simply want to be a great dad.
I'm excited for the future, to be a mom, obviously, be the best version of myself, and to be a great wife for George and a great mom to my kids. Not only this one, but hopefully all the rest coming. He only wants 2, but I'm like, nah, 4.
I went through my boxes now because we're in the process of moving, and then I got a small letter or something I wrote when I was in grade 5, 10 or 11 years old, and in the letter it said I wanted to play for Proteas, I wanted to play for Western Province, I want a nice house, I want a nice car, and most importantly I want a good-looking wife. And it's funny enough, like, all those things actually fell into place. So I can say since I was 10, 11, I wanted to play cricket, to play for Proteas, and luckily it happened.
May George Linde continue to bring the spice to Western Province this summer, and maybe even the Test Arena. Just ahead, Gavin Raja brings the rainbow back to SA fashion, and a foodie's pot of gold lies at the foot of Bainskloof.
Sponsored by Capitec.
Anytime fashion designer Gavin Raja invites you to view his latest collection, you're in for a journey of discovery on one hand, and on the other, a masterclass in the art of couture.
Fashion is one of those things where you constantly got to reinvent your brand, and you constantly got to breathe some kind of fresh air. If you're able to endure changing environments, different kind of factors that impact business, and still be able to be successful, that's the true test of a brand and of course a business. And I think for me, our focus is always about delivering a product that people want and to create things that people want to wear.
The discovery is watching Gavin and his studio team turn fabric and sketches into catwalk-ready creations.
So the overall theme for this collection is really about celebration, and it's a celebration of irreverent kind of color. But I think to a large extent, it's really about looking at fine kind of techniques of craftsmanship, really beautiful hand-finished kind of detail to things. And obviously I'm playing into using things that we can source from South Africa. So there's a lot of ostrich bronze and things like that. The one thing is that South Africans we're not scared of is using color. So I'm really kind of pushing this element of color.
Ahead of his showing at AFI Joburg Fashion Week, the maestro gave us a sneak peek at his #couture collection.
Most of the things that I've been doing are inspired by flowers. I've worked on looking at women as kind of very delicate flowers, so everything is really about flowers, maybe not necessarily in an obvious way, but if you look closely, you'd see it's there. So the two looks that we've just kind of brought out, which are kind of signature for the season, are very simple dresses, but it's all about structure. It's all about having a sense of detail, lots of details, so lots of pockets, so quite utilitarian kind of details. Very luxurious, beautiful long pants, and then this concept of a tailored jacket. And all of these things are very kind of cognizant of the fact that we're in a country that has very extreme temperatures during summer, so it's all about being comfortable, cool, but at the same time making a statement. So it's definitely not for any wallflowers.
Every piece and every garment that you laid on your body is a statement. It becomes a language for the day. The colors, the textures, it just gives a sense of luxury.
If Gavin wanted a strong collection to elevate the women of our continent, then he had AFI's Olwetu Mbane right with him.
We exist in an era now where people are yearning authentic African stories. Not a lot of people are actually aware of what South Africa actually is, meaning we really need to continue creating content and producing it to the world and be proud of the fact that we are Africans from Africa, because we've got such rich stories. We're rich in culture, we're rich in religion, we're rich in diversity. I'm expecting to see more representation, all the different cultures that we have.
Music to businesswoman Johanna Makhalemele's ears.
People really want to be able to support and buy local. And I do believe that our designers, our local designers, whether it's South Africa, whether it's on the African continent, we really have the most amazing skills to be able to compete with any international designers around the world. The vibrancy of colors, we have gift of fabrics that nobody else can be able to have. And that infused with a great talent really comes out with some amazing pieces that anybody around the world would love to be able to wear.
The collection is a greater extension, not just of myself, but of my studio and the women that work for me and the men. This is about them as well. This is their talent. This is their craftsmanship. I just kind of am the conductor, and they kind of help to put things together and take all my unintelligible dreams and make it into something fantastical. And I think we need a little bit of escapism, some time to dream, and I hope that's what people see. It's a little bit escapist.
To fully escape into a world of original African floral design and colour, you need to leave the city and head for Fynbos country. At the foot of Bainskloof, cradled by the Greenberg and Limetberg Mountains near Wellington, rich rewards await visitors to Oaklands Farm, where a dining and art scene is taking root thanks to Rose and Adam Williams.
Feihi is a farm, kitchen and dining room and an artist residency program that is situated in one of the former stable buildings on Oaklands Farm. We are basically celebrating local seasonal produce from the Boerland and ancestral recipes and a culture of enjoying long, slow lunches in a beautiful setting and sharing that with the public.
Rose met Adam through the world of art and good food, and with their shared talents, they make a formidable team.
I'm Adam Williams, and welcome to Feihi.
Wellington and the Boerland, being the nation's fruit orchard and vineyard, a scene of plenty greets visitors who stay for a long lunch or for a 3-month artist residency program.
This stable used to be the foaling barn of the Oaklands horse stud, and so there are 11 rooms or barns within the greater barn, and we've divided them up into dining rooms, artist studios, workshops, and the kitchen. Behind us we have the first dining room. The room's really beautiful because it has a north-facing door, so the light is really beautiful all year round. We also have a wood-burning Dover stove in the room, so in winter that's the main hub of where people sit for lunch.
All kinds of creatives and researchers are hosted on the self-funded retreats. A great opportunity to realize or develop ideas in a scenic location.
The library is a very special part of Feihi. I'm very obsessed with books. I'm also very interested in compiling recipes and archiving a lot of the family heirlooms, family memories and recipes you'll find in our library.
Over 12 years, Rosa's father and her uncle have regenerated the surrounding farmland into a biodiverse Fynbos Conservancy and Protea Farm.
We love showcasing what's being produced around Feihi and around Oaklands Farm, and these sort of wildflower arrangements that look like we've just sort of picked them up off the field really personify what our energy is at Feihi.
Feihi is home to Rosa's studio space, where she can be found painting botanical still lifes and landscapes.
I come from a family of artists. My mother, Louise Gelderblom, is a ceramicist, and her parents and grandparents were all artists. They were painters and carpenters and art teachers. And so, like in some families, you have generations of lawyers or doctors. In my family, it's art.
Any artists doing a residency here will find no end of inspiration in the interiors styled by the owners, who've had this vision for a while now.
It's interesting to think of the concept of Feihi because we talk a lot about freedom dreaming and visualizing and manifesting the freedoms that we want to know in our life. Yeah. And when we were in KZN in the Midlands, we were very happy where we were, but we really missed home, and we started to imagine this thing, and it wasn't called Feihi, but it was a restaurant, and we knew that Feihi was a pile of art books with a strange ceramic and some grasses from the farm on top of it. Yeah. And we knew that Feihi was solid wood furniture and fresh air and really good slow food. So we'd started to imagine how it would feel to be at Vechi, even though we didn't know where Vechi was going to be located.
Yes. Cooking is very sort of a personal thing for me. I draw a lot of inspiration from my past and my sort of ancestral history when I'm cooking, when I'm in the kitchen. Vechi is kind of about celebrating family, coming together and sharing. So, I mean, we always try and do that, try and instill that kind of energy, that kind of vibe into the food that we're making, which is always very abundant and good for sharing. But with the ingredients that I choose, I'm very particular. I'd like to use things that are from local areas, from that I know, I can go to it, I can see it, I can taste it. The fresher, the better.
Together with cook and apprentice Ethel Chibi, Rose and Adam have started a movement.
Vechi is developing something of like a following, like a committed following, because we are a destination experience. People drive normally a minimum of an hour to come here for lunch, and most people stay for 5 hours, and we want to reward people for putting that effort in. It's always special.
I think a lot of what we're doing at Vechi is not really about us. It's more about our family.
At Vechi, the biggest thing is that every weekend we are giving people these amazing memories that for them are just so special. And I think that those memories are going to outlive us.
Especially when they start hosting weddings, which they're about to. The joy that Adam and Rose Williams have discovered here is one they want to share. Right after this, when West African drums meet South African wines, it's a harmony you have to discover for yourself.
Sponsored by Capitec.
Once popular content creator Scott Garder heard the world-famous South African show Drumstruck was back home and in residence at a local wine estate, he had to discover it for himself.
Hi guys, I'm here at Silver Mist Wine Estate and I'm here to experience Drumstruck. I made a pledge at the beginning of the year that I'm gonna live my life to the fullest. And that's just how I knew that I need to discover new places, I need to learn new skills, and generally I just wanna be the best me I can be. And luckily, me being a Capitec client, I can do just that with my Love Better savings, guys. And you're invited as well.
How better to invest those savings than in a life experience to carry with you forever?
I've been banking with Capitec for my entire life. Like, ever since I can remember, maybe 5-6 years, we've gotten each other through some times, you know? We've seen it all together, so I love Capitec. Firstly, you go to Capitec. Then they will have you download the app, and then from there, you click on the function Love Better, and you quite literally live better. It's just that quick and simple. I love Capitec because it's the easiest, it's the quickest. They improve my life by having Love Better savings because I feel like a lot of people find it difficult to save. So them implementing that function, it just makes me feel like they care about me and my well-being. So I love that they help me save. They will give you options how to round up. So when you purchase at particular places, then if the total is 36 but I round up to 10 Rand, then they will save a 4 Rand for me, and then every time I swipe they will continue saving and I won't even know, and then it's there, and I'm using Love Better for my December. So yoo-hoo, love Capitec. You absolutely have to include the wine. It's part of the experience. You get the drum show, you get the wine, you get the view, you get the time of your life.
Cheers, Scott. Cheers. So this is my 2018 organic Cabernet. The wine is full of color, full of flavor. On the nose, ripe red fruit.
Learning new things and learning new life skills, I think it's really important because I believe it's what keeps your inner child alive, and it's like you just need that fire, that passion.
It's literally Broadway at Silver Mist. I mean,
wow.
It is next level.
No, I'm gonna keep you to that, eh?
I promise you.
No, I'm really excited.
Listen, you're not even gonna know where to look. Like, that's how good you feel.
That's good. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Doing great. Yes.
Hey guys, Scott is in the house.
Hi. I am so excited. I feel so honored that I get to have a one-on-one lesson with these people because this is their thing, and I feel it's special to me that I get to do something like that.
So this is a djembe drum.
Okay.
Now we've got 2 notes on the drum.
Okay.
First note, it's your bass note. You find it in the middle of your drum. So you just bounce like that. In the middle of your drum, right? And then your second note is right here. Aha! I have been playing djembe for 18 years now. And I still think I still have to learn some more. Now, let me teach you how to play it. Okay. But you know what they say? If you can sing it, you can play it.
Okay.
So let's sing this together.
Okay.
Dum da ka ta ka ta, 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 hey, da ka ta ka ta, dum da ka ta ka ta, dum da ka ta ka ta, bum, That was so lovely.
I don't even have the words. I loved it. I loved it so much.
After finishing the whole drumming, you have to feel very happy.
I am so happy. My heart is racing. I am so happy.
I'm glad.
The one-of-a-kind chord which this pairing of drumming and wine tasting struck with Scott is experienced by visitors from around the world.
The reason why people they feel so good when they're here is because of we let them connect as well. We let them connect with the culture, with the traditions, and, you know, with the instruments as well. We teach it in a fun way, and there's also humor in it when we teach the drum. So you don't really think too much about, oh, what am I supposed to play? You kind of like, you know, just flow with it and enjoy the humor. Then at some point you feel that, oh, we are playing together. It's about that. It's about bringing everybody together and playing, you know, together as one.
The show was absolutely divine. It was 1,000 out of 10. I'm still playing the drums, and I will be playing the drums for the rest of my life in my soul. Okay, advice for 2023 would be, your legacy is left in how you made people feel, so always try your best to make people feel good.
Adding to the ways Capitec helps you bank your Live Better savings, now you stand a chance to top them up with a R1,000 cash prize courtesy of Capitec. For your chance to win, share your thoughts on a dream which this prize could help make come true and reply to the competition post on the Insider SA social media platforms using #CapitecLiveBetter. Congratulations to last week's winner, Mallory Pather.
Another feel-good production.